Hello, everybody. This is my new book, Morningwood, and it was released on the 1st of July. Sales have been fantastic, but I realised that they've been fantastic even without me promoting it, which is a bit terrible, and I do apologise about that. So what I did was I said today that if I had 10 sales of the book today, a week after its release, I would do a reading from one of the naughty bits of the book, so one of the more adulty bits, seeing as my books generally tend to be like for all age groups. So those 10 that sold very, very quickly, and so as promised, here we go. This is a scene from Morningwood. To set this particular scene, Mulberry Gale and Morningwood have just met with a scooter gang, the vicious scooter gang, for the first time. Morningwood has very much come off the worse for wear for it, and so has returned to his home, hopefully hoping that Mulberry will be able to do a bit of first aid and pull him through. The nymph stepped inside, only slightly disturbed by the bloodied handprint left on the statue. But all thoughts of that were eradicated when the satyr turned on the light, flooding the hallway and revealing the most beautiful images. It was decadence personified. The walls were decorated with hand-painted frescoes, picked out with gold leaf and Gothic swirls. The ceiling was hung with a myriad of ornate bird cages, the doors removed and glass crystal eggs placed within, reflecting the electric light around the walls like the play of sunlight across rippling water, seen through the branches of ancient trees. The tiles on the floor were shaped to appear like interlocking lizards, and sweeping staircase was adorned with an elegant driftwood banister, washed bone white by the sea. All this opulence, and they hadn't left the hallway. Mulberry was entranced. Morningwood had already started to climb the stairs and was halfway up before she noticed and started to follow. He was dripping blood on every step, and she felt annoyed with herself at how upset she felt at him soiling such beauty. When he reached the top, he pushed open a gleaming white door and painfully reached up and pulled a cord, illuminating a bathroom of coloured ceramic and brass. Mulberry continued her ascent, then leant on the doorway, looking in. Morningwood sat on the edge of a roll-top bath with bronze cast lion feet. He was gently touching the shard that protruded from his chest. It had lost its shine and was stained red. "I think I'm going to need your help," he said with a wince. Mulberry approached. She didn't really do other people's bloods. Water had a great way of washing away your sins. "Should I just pull it out?" she asked unhelpfully, causing Morningwood to give her a long look before answering. He wasn't sure if she was asking for instruction or mocking him for just doing it and not doing it himself. "I very much doubt I'll be able to make my jacket off over the top of it," he said, as if giving her a guideline, and when she failed to move, he continued, "Just pull it straight out. Don't twist it. And use a towel. I don't want you cutting your hands." She had to smile that even with a shard of glass in his chest, the satyr was still thinking of the well-being of others. Mulberry grabbed a monogrammed handtail from beside the ornate sink, then hesitated to use it around the blood. "It'll wash out, or I'll buy new ones," he said quietly when he saw her pause. Mulberry wrapped the shard in the towel, the blood instantly seeping into the pale fibres as she took a firm hold of the object within. Morningwood gasped, causing her to let go. "Oh God, did that hurt?" she said, concern etched across her features. "Of course it bloody hurts. Just get on with it," he hissed through gritted teeth. Morningwood's anger at her made it easier to carry out the task. Her lips tightened. She could imagine she was stabbing him. She took a firm hold and pulled. Outside the bathroom window, 2 roosting pigeons took to the air and flew into the park for a quieter night, as Morningwood let out a howl of pain and profanity. He was bent double, waving his free hand at Mulberry, clutching his chest with the other. When she failed to get his meaning, he snatched the towel from her, shook free the shard of glass and thrust the towel into his shirt, pressing down on the wound. "How was I supposed to know what you needed?" she protested as he flashed her another look. He pointed towards a semicircular floor-to-ceiling-length cabinet. "There's a first aid kit in there. Could you bring it over, please?" Mulberry looked before walking over like a sulky teenager. "I've been hurt too, you know," she mumbled as she pulled open the double doors, revealing shelves of towels and one of the general detritus that gathers in bathrooms, even one as grand as this. She saw a large old beige case with a red cross on it and pulled it free. "That's it," she heard behind her. Morningwood had removed his jacket, and as she turned she was shocked at how much of his shirt was now red and shining with moisture. "Oh God, she really got you good." The concern in her voice caused Morningwood to raise his eyebrows. He painfully slipped the braces from his shoulders and started trying to undo the rest of his shirt buttons. Mulberry watched for a moment before coming over to help. She moved his hand away before her delicate fingers plucked the buttons gracefully from their holders. Soon the shirt was unbuttoned, and she teased it from his trousers so it fell gracefully open, revealing his deeply haired chest. She ran her fingers back up through the soft curls to his throat and slid the shirt off his broad shoulders and down his powerful arms, revealing a torso athletic with muscle and marred by scar tissue. She threw the garment onto the floor and opened the case, impressed at the array of bandages and sutures. She selected a needle and thread, and stepping past him into the bath and pulling him up to his feet till he too stepped inside, and they stood together in the bathtub. She pulled the pale fabric bath curtain around them and removed the hand and towel from Morningwood's chest. The blood didn't pump at first, but oozed like syrup from the jagged cut. Mulberry turned the tap beside her, and the shower started to pulse cool water over them both. The blood on the wound broke up and washed slowly away, turning the water pink, revealing the deep pale cut in his chest, so close to the heart. Mulberry effortlessly threaded the medical needle and ran her fingers gently over the wound, biting through the thread as she did so with perfect white teeth. She looked Morningwood in the eyes, and as he looked warmly down into hers, a small wince passed across his face as she pushed the curved needle through his skin, and she playfully growled at him before turning her attention to her work. Her fingers were delicate and skilled, and the gash was soon sealed. Morningwood ran his fingers across her work, and with a smile then pulled her beneath the water and wiped the blood from the graze on her shoulder. She flinched at his touch. The wound was sore but shallow. He turned her around so she faced away from him and moved her already growing hair away from the scratches on her neck. They were already close to healing, but he leant in and kissed them anyway. With the water soaking her dress and bringing about her true nature, the touch of the satyr sent warmth through her body and blue swirls of light spinning beneath her skin. She sighed and leant back into the strong body of her former lover. It had been so long since she had felt him this close, this personal. His familiar hands encircled her waist, fingers linking above her navel and pulling her closer. His kisses moving slowly around her neck, till entranced she tipped her head back. The water cascaded across her face, and the heavy makeup of her eyes ran in streaks, while his hands ran down her body, pressing the wet fabric of her dress smoothly against her curves. Soon they were on her legs, the warmth of her skin beneath his palms. She sighed as his fingers ran tantalizing rivers back up her inner thighs, touching the soft fabric between her legs and sending instant waves of yearning through her. She spun around in his embrace, her hair now grown halfway down her back, whipped behind her, and their faces came together, lips locking together in a passionate, heady kiss. that robbed them of both breath and senses. His hands cupped her buttocks and lifted her slightly into the passion of their locked lips before lowering her back to the ceramic bath. His hand rose quickly, finding her zip and loosening her dress so it fell, slipped from her body, clinging briefly to her aroused nipples. The thrill of her naked skin against his chest was intoxicating. She leant back, supported by his strong, embracing arm. Her breast thrusting skywards, he sank his head down to take one of the perfect buds between his full lips, while his tongue flicked playfully. She felt his arousal grow. The kisses descended down her body as she played in the water. He soon crouched before her, the passion of his kisses focused on the drenched fabric of her knickers, the heat beneath them building as he eased them aside, his hot tongue and questing fingers exploring her body. The joy in his heart rising once again to have his mouth hungrily buried in her soft womanly curls. She felt her legs turn to jelly as his expert touch and leant back against the cold tiles for support. The heat and cold both bringing instant and different pleasures to her skin. She ran her hand through his wet hair, half guiding, half for support. Her breath started to come in gasps at his continued attentions, until she felt the tides move inside her, passion building in waves until she could see only swirling colours. She gasped once more, enjoying the continued sensations, before she pushed him breathlessly away. He took the sign and rose back up, lifting her in his arms. She swung her arms around his neck, and they kissed so deeply she could taste her passion on his lips as he stepped from the bath. He moved from the bathroom and with his foot opened a door to a bedchamber. As he walked into the darkened room, illuminated only by a street lamp, he looked as if he were made of bronze. Gently, he laid her on the ornate wooden bed, and she playfully wriggled up to the cushions before sliding off her knickers and throwing them at him. He smiled as he removed his footwear, then stood to drop his trousers and stand proudly masculine before her. She purred as she remembered the perfect dimensions of his member and how well he had used it. As he crawled grinning up the bed, she threw her hands above her head, crossed at the wrists as his kisses came, working their way up her body, making her back arch again and her breath come in short and excited gasps. She couldn't help but giggle uncontrollably at the fun to come. Thank you for buying the book, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that little reading. Maybe you'll have many more readings of your own. So enjoy. Thank you very much for supporting me and my endeavours and my publisher. And I look forward to maybe more readings in the future. Who knows? Who knows?